Welcome back to another edition of Fly Tying with Jim Misiura. Today we're going to tie an old school potbelly minnow. The hook that I have in the vise, this is a number 2 streamer hook. And I'm going to use, this is just big fly thread, B. And I just want to get a base of thread on the hook shank there. So I'm going to use this really heavy stuff. We need a nice thread base, so when we glue, we're going to actually super glue our potbelly onto the hook. And we're going to go ahead and I'm not even going to try to break that. Just cut that off, and I'm going to put another layer on there. I'm going to make some open spirals there. I'm actually going to twist my thread so it gets tighter. This thread would flatten out really easy because it's so big. But you can see there's ribs, a little bit of ribs on there. So make some ribs, and this gives more space for the super glue. I'm going to go ahead and give that a whip finish. We're going to pull that tight. And we'll trim that off. Now, for the potbelly, this is what I have. Take a piece of aluminum, a piece of something. You can use lead tape. You can use this. I found this is pretty good. I'm actually going to take that out of there. There's a little point there. I'm going to snip that out of there. But what I did is I took a soda can, cherry Dr. Pepper on this one, but I opened it up, flattened it out, and made a little bit of a template, and then I transferred it to the shiny side because your marker will show up better. And then cut it out. You have to play around with the shape yourself. Use something, a spool to kind of get the shape you want. Something, I don't know, bigger, something like this. A little bigger. And why I have this here, this Larva Lace soft lead or flat lead, I'm going to use that. After I put the aluminum on, I'm going to put a piece of the lead inside, and that is going to help keep it turned over because this is going to be an upside down one. So I'm going to take my piece, and I'm going to fold it in half. I'm going to put it on the hook and fold it in half. This one might be a little bit long in the front, so I might have to trim that off there a little bit. And my thread is coming out. I should have got that super glue on there sooner. It's going to go and throw a half hitch in there. Whoop. If I could get it. There we go. That'll be good. That's going to get covered. Not a big deal. Super glue is going to take care of that. Now I'm just going to take some super glue. I already have my piece of lead cut to size, and I'm going to just put super glue right on the shaft there. Close that back up. And like I said, this one might be a little long, so I'm going to go ahead and trim that just a little more. And then I'm going to put that on. And then I'm going to take my piece of lead And I'm going to drop that in there. And then I'm going to squeeze it tight. If your lead is sticking out, it's probably a good idea to just let it stick out of one side. But just hold that tight until it gets secured. You can move it a little bit at first. Hold that tight. I think it's already stuck on there now. But that lead is going to keep that hook flipped. Oop, little, not quite. That's okay. That's even okay as long as it's glued in, because this is going to get covered with the Mylar tubing. I'm going to go ahead and trim off that piece of lead there. Still got a little piece on the back. Actually, almost glad that it's open that way, because that way I know I didn't put so much on there that I was going to get it all over my fingers. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put a thread on the back side. I'm going to get thread on the back side, and I'm going to use mono thread for this. I'm going to just start it on the back side there. Get that all secured. Now I'm going to take a piece of my Mylar tubing, and it really depends what color body you want. This silver is probably going to show through some, so you want to take that into account. And here we go. I'm going to use this yellow one, and you can see there's a thread inside there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to hold it at the back, then I'm going to pull it just so I know where to cut it off. So I'm going to cut it off about there. Now I'm going to take my tubing, since this side is frayed already a little bit, I'm going to turn it around, and I'm going to keep that thread. I want to keep that thread on the right on the sides, like a lateral line. Oop, popped on me. Actually, that thread came out, so I'm not going to worry about that. I'm going to secure that back side. And I'm going to whip finish it. And you have to use your fingers because the whip finisher isn't quite big enough. I'm going to go ahead and trim that. And I'm going to, instead of using my head cement, I'm going to use some Diamond Fine UV coating. You could just use head cement. I'm just going to put a little bit on there just to ensure that knot's not going to go anywhere. Just actually bring it up into the mesh there a little bit. And I'm going to go ahead and cure that quickly. There we go. Just 3 or 4 seconds is all it takes, but I'm human and I don't believe it, so I leave it on there a little longer. Now for the front and the rest of it, I'm going to use some black thread. You can use like a yellow thread and have a yellow spot on the back there. I'm going to hold my thread. I'm going to pull everything to the front so it's nice and tight, and then I'm going to secure it. Then I could go ahead and take that off. I'm just going to take this and I'm going to kind of fold it up, put my finger in it and push it back. This is going to help you get a good cut off. Go ahead and clean that up. Make sure that eye is clear. And I got a couple of them up there. I'm going to use the lighter. There we go. Now I'm going to turn this over for the rest of the tie. I'm going to make this baby brown trout. And I'm going to start out with, I have some yellow silky fiber. And I'm going to take a small amount of this. If you haven't made them or used them, the baby brown trout is a killer fly. And I want this to be slightly longer than the bend. You can go ahead and cut it long enough so that you can fold it over and get that same amount on both sides. I'm just going to go ahead and divide this. There we go. Having it a little bit, having the fibers uneven is a good thing. And we're going to go ahead and tie this in. I'm just going to put like 3 wraps and then I'm going to trim this off. Don't want to crowd the eye too much. I'm going to try to keep it away. Pull that tight. Go ahead and trim that off. Got one more there. There we go. And I could clean that up. Try to keep the amount of wraps to a minimum. Now we got some yellow on there. Now we could go ahead and take another color. We'll take some of the white. And this one is a little bit rougher, but I like this. It makes a nice veil over the whole thing. So I'm going to take a piece of it. I'm actually going to make this like twice as long as that yellow. Then I could kind of get them a little bit uneven. Just take them and kind of give them a little tugs there. We'll make this about the length of the yellow. Going to fold it over. It's a little tricky when you fold it over. Okay, I have to trim that a little bit, so I'm going to go ahead and cut this off and then just hold it on the other side. I'm just going to measure it to length and hold it on the other side. There we go. I'm going to cut this just a little bit shorter so I don't have to trim. tie that in. It's more to the side than on the top. And we'll clean that up. Now I'm going to go ahead and take a little bit of orange. Not a lot, just a little accented color here. And we're going to tie this in. You got to get that a little bit less. And I dropped the whole card. Get about half of that amount. There we go. And I'm gonna limit this more towards the belly in length. And I'm gonna put that on there and hold that butt section right there. Spin that counterclockwise and it'll go back. Get that in there first. There we go. There we go, right on top. Just let the hook, the point of the hook divide it, and you can pull it round. Remember, this is the way it's going to run in the water. Got a couple of real long ones here. There we go. Now I'm going to take a touch of blue. Oh, 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 oh. That point hurts. Tie this in. We're getting a little close on that eye there. We're still going to be able to put a line through it. Hold that back. There we go. That opened the eye up. And once again, let the point of the hook divide it for you. This Puglisi Silky fiber is some nice stuff. I especially like it because when it's in the water, it's like transparent. And now I'm going to take some gray. And the gray is going to be a little bit more, not quite twice as much as the other colors individually, but it's going to be a little bit heavier. That's pretty good. We're going to put that right on top, and I'm going to make this one just slightly longer than the others. To make that so it's a little bit longer than the others. Gonna lay this right on top. I'm actually going to come back towards my fingers on this one a little bit. Keep that. There we There we go. Clean up that head there a little bit. Once again, I'm going to let the hook point divide my hair or my silky fibers. Just pull everything around the hook shank. Probably about 6 Peacock Herl. Gonna go ahead and get the small ones that are the small broken ones that are inside. Gonna tie this in right on top. Going to secure everything. And then I'm going to trim those couple up to the size that I need. Going to take my scissors and put a slight curve in this. When you take it out of the vise, that will go where it's supposed to. I'm going to turn this back over. I'm going to tie off my head right now. Take my whip finish. I got a giant mess on my table here. I give that another whip finish. Well, this head will be secure. We'll go ahead and cut that off. I'm going to take my magic markers. I'm going to put a few spots on them. Maybe go ahead and put a couple of red spots on there. Throw a couple of them back there even. Going to take the black marker and I'm going to put some par marks on them. Just lightly on the hair itself. Lightly on the silky fibers. And then put a line down it. That's looking pretty good. Now I'm going to go ahead and put eyes on it. I'm going to use 5mm holographic eyes. I'm going to use my bodkin to take them off the card. And I'm going to place this just slightly behind and partly on the thread. You'll see on this one. And we're going to go get that one lined up. Give them a squeeze so they stay on there for you. Now I'm going to take my diamond fine once again, and I'm going to cover at least half the eye so it doesn't go anywhere. I want to keep those fibers away from the sides. Okay, it's flowing. Getting the thread while I'm here. And I'm going to get the top. There we go. I got that on that eye. And I'm going to get the top. And then I'm going to basically let that level itself off. Which it does quite nicely. Take my UV light once again. Hit that. Yep, that's on there good. And here we have an old school potbelly little baby brown trout. Hope that you learned something from this video. Hope that you would subscribe to my channel. Please refer me to your friends. Please visit my sponsors. If you'd like to purchase any flies that I make, go to etsy.com/shop/theflymanjim. And most of all, thank you very much for watching my videos.